Today I'm going to be doing like my everyday makeup, which I've been kind of having a capsule type makeup collection right now. Like, I have this makeup storage thing and I just have all my makeup in it. It's kind of a mess right now, so I don't know if I'm going to show it to you guys, but I might make a different video on it. But it's bigger than what you would think a capsule makeup collection would be, because I'm more of like a using more makeup type person. Like, I'm not the type of person that can just use the same like 5 products every day. Like, it's a little bit bigger than that, but I'm just gonna be doing my makeup. And so first I'm gonna prime my face, and what I've been using recently is the Cover FX blurring primer. I've been using that a lot recently, and I just put it straight on my face. Put like a couple stripes and then spread that like just over my face and over my nose. I'm gonna put a little bit on my forehead, a little bit on my chin, focusing it mainly on the center of my face. And then I use another primer for moisture. Since it's winter time, I really need a little bit more moisture. And this is the Hard Candy Sheer Envy Coconut Water Primer Stick. I've been using this a lot. And what I do is, around my nose is very dry, so I put a stripe around my nose, put some here, because I've been blowing my nose a lot, so it's dry right here too. Just put that over my nose. This is an area where I tend to get dry patches, like right between my brows. So I put some here, put some under my eye, and a little bit at the bottom of my cheek where my skin is more dry. And there we go. Foundation, it's either been one of these two, which I mostly use this one, the Covergirl Clean Matte BB, which I'm almost out of, because this is like an everyday foundation for me. I use this a lot. To be honest, recently I've been using powder foundation a lot. Like, I've been using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. It says pressed powder, but for me it works as like a powder foundation. And I'm almost out of this. As you can see, I use it a lot. And I use this sometimes if I'm going for like just a light everyday look. If I want full coverage though, I go for the Revolution Conceal and Define foundation. And this is in the color F10, which is a little bit dark for me, so I tend to mix it with the Anastasia Stick foundation, which I'm almost out of. But I tend to mix those two if I do wear that one. Today, what I'm going to use is, you guys have seen me use this a lot of times, so I'm just not going to use that today. And what I'm going to do is instead do my powder foundation routine, because I haven't shown you guys that. And what I do is, first I put on the concealer. And the one that I'm going to be using is the Maybelline Instant Angel Wine in the color Honey. I'm putting that under my eyes, on my nose, around the corners, on a little bit of these blemishes, which I've been breaking out right now for some reason. In the winter, I seem to always break out. I don't know why, but I do. I always seem to break out in the winter. I'm going to take this paddle foundation brush from BH Cosmetics to blend my concealer out. And now what I'm going to do is, first I set my eyes with some powder, with some translucent powder. And this is the Coty airspun, which I've been using recently. And I might, well, no, because I see a lot of people talk about this, so honestly, I don't know if I need to make my own video on it, because everybody talks about this. But it seemed to be a decent powder. It's not my favorite powder in the world. And I'm going to set my under eyes using the e.l.f. small taper brush. And I'm gonna set the concealer like in my T-zone with this. And honestly, if you're using powder foundation, you don't need to do this, but I feel like it just makes a difference, and my under eyes are a little bit more bright and stuff. If I use this like over my under eyes, I notice that they're a little bit more like dull and not so brightened up. And now with the Real Techniques blush brush, and I'm just gonna buff that into my skin using circular motions. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys and say this gives me like full coverage, because it doesn't. But when I'm using this, I'm not looking for full coverage. I'm just looking for like an everyday, like light to medium type coverage. And if I want to build it up a little bit, then I'll just take a little bit more and just pack over the area. And I feel like it does tend to give me just a little more coverage. And now for bronzer, I'm going to be using Benefit Hoola and Hoola Light mixed together. I've been keeping this out because it's like, they come out with one of these like every year, to be honest, like a blush palette slash bronzer. And as you can see, I use this a lot, the bronzer colors and Rockateur blush. But today what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to be using the bronzer from this palette and mixing Hoola and Hoola Light together. Because Hoola's a little bit too dark for me this time of year. But Hoola Light's a little bit too subtle. So like I mix the two. Preferably, I'd prefer to have like a bronzer that's the right color, to be honest, but for right now this works. I need to find a bronzer that's like in the middle. For highlight, I'm going to use the Covergirl True Blend Super Stunner palette in the color Lift. Oh, It's Lit is the color. And it says 500. And what I'm going to do is, when I want like a more subtle highlight, I use this one at the end, which I'll show you guys what that looks like. To some people this may not be that subtle, but for me that's like a more subtle highlight. But if I want to bump it up, I definitely use this color at the very end, which it doesn't have a name, but, and just put that in the center and see, there goes the bam. Which I normally would just use that gold one because on an everyday basis I don't want like extreme highlight. And for blush, I'm going to be using my favorite one right now, which is the Laura Geller Baked Blush in the color Pink Grapefruit, which this is kind of a cult classic. I love a glowy blush. This is for my face products. Only for eye primer, I've been using the Milani, and this is a really good eye primer. Like, I've been really liking it. I'm going to zoom in just a little. And guys, recently I've been using this a lot, the Studiomakeup On The Go palette. And I put my brow bone color down, which is this one right here. They don't really have names. And then for transition color, I'm going to be using this one right here. And I'm going to be using that on a BH Cosmetics, like this type of fluffy brush. A little bit more definition, I'm going to mix these two together. Because one of these is a little bit dark and one of them has slight bit of shimmer in it, so I don't want it to be like shimmery, but I also don't want it to be as dark as that other color, so I feel like mixing them together gives it like just the perfect shade. But once you have it on the eye, the shimmer doesn't really show up. It may not seem like it, but honestly, starting to film videos again, even though I've only filmed like this one and another one so far, like I just already feel so much better. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was really depressed, like, and I'm still kind of coming out of that, and like, I feel like the filming videos really helps me, like, even though it might sound like weird, but it does. And for the lid, I don't always use something from this palette. Sometimes I'll use like this rose gold or like one of those shimmery colors or that gold. But today I'm going to use ColourPop Puppuccino, which I love these ColourPop eyeshadows. I use my finger and it's just a gorgeous color. Like, that's so pretty. If y'all haven't noticed, like whenever I haul makeup, I don't know if you all noticed, but this rosy type, rosy bronze type colors are literally just my jam. Like, I love these colors. Like, if I could only like wear, which I could, I mean, I wear these a lot. I wear these types of colors a lot. But like, whenever I just want to feel really glam and like really nice, I always wear these types of colors because they just make me feel really glam and really put together for some reason. I love rose gold, especially this like coppery tone of rose. And that's it for the upper lash. And then for the lower lash line, I'm basically gonna do like the same thing. First, I'm gonna take the transition color I used and put that under there, and then I'm going to take my lower lash line brush. This is from Royal Langnickel, and it's the part of it's rubbed off. It's the detail brush, and take those two colors that I mixed together for the upper crease. Okay, and for the inner corner, I love a good inner corner highlight, y'all know. I feel like I've never made a look without inner corner. I'm gonna mix the gold and the lightest color in the palette together. And I kind of drag it up like a little bit. And that is the finished eye look. So what I'm gonna do is, now I'm gonna do my brows, and I do my brows exactly the same way I've been doing it. So I'm just gonna do that and then come. Okay, brows are done, and now I'm going to move on to eyeliner. I don't always do like wing liner, but like for the purpose of the video, I'm gonna do wing liner because I usually do, but if sometimes I just don't. But normally I do, if that makes sense. And this eyeliner is getting on my nerves. This is what it keeps doing. The Wet n Wild Pro line, which I never had this problem with this before, but look. See, when I take it off, it doesn't come off. It attaches, it comes out of the bottom. Okay, they're as even as they're gonna get. And recently, I've been curling my lashes a lot more because I don't know what that is. It's moving. Camera almost fell over. I've been curling my lashes a lot more because I've noticed that my lashes have been falling recently. I don't know what it is. but they haven't been as curly as they normally are. I used to not even have to curl my lashes, and now it seems like they fall, like they don't actually stay up like they used to. And the mascara I've been using every day is the Lancome Monsieur, which is a really, really good mascara. I love this mascara. I had a sample like a long time ago, and I was obsessed. And I got it when it was $12 at Ulta that one day. I wish I would have bought more than one. My eyelashes just look really good with this mascara. For lower lash mascara, I've been using the Lash Sensational Curvitude Waterproof. This isn't my favorite waterproof mascara because I feel like I've noticed what it does is it flakes and gets into my eye when I take it off at night, and it irritates my eye, so I don't like that. That's not something that I wouldn't recommend this, but I'm using it because I have it right now. And it's not that waterproof. Like, it smudges throughout the day. Like, even though I set my concealer good, it smudges down onto my concealer, which I don't understand why it does that. I just noticed that I didn't put any eyeshadow. That the eyeshadow that I put on the Puppuccino shade, I missed, like, the inner part of my lid. That's the only thing I don't like about using my finger. Though, using my finger is the best way because you get the most pigment with these since they're creamy. But that's the only thing I don't like is sometimes you'll like miss that. And now for setting spray, I'm going to use what I've been using recently, which is the Covergirl Look Lacquer. And I really like this. In the summer, I prefer the Make It Last. But I haven't tried that in the summer, so maybe it works just as well. But for the winter, I've been really liking it because, see how it gives my skin, like, a glow. Recently, I've been using this again, and I love this. It's one of my favorite, like, lip tint colors. Tinted lip balm type things. The Jordana Twist and Shine Moisturizing Balm Stick in Honey Love, I had this years ago, and I used it almost completely up. And I go to CVS, Walgreens, just because that's what's closest to me. So I don't get a chance to go to Walgreens so much. And you can buy this at Walgreens, and it's only like, I think it's either like $1.99 or $2.99. But it's a really pretty, just My Lips Better type color. And that is the finished look. There is that. That's my everyday makeup. And I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more videos from me. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.